Hello and welcome to another edition of Coffee Talk with immigration attorney Brian D. Lerner. In this set of videos we are going over some issues regarding citizenship and what it takes to be a U.S. citizen. Now we went over the principle under the 14th Amendment of being born in the U.S. and how you're a U.S. citizen, but what about when you're not born in the U.S.? You're born somewhere else. The question is it possible to be a U.S. citizen even though you are not born in the U.S.? And again, we're not talking about going through the naturalization procedure and getting your green card first and all of those items. We're talking about laws that essentially make it so that the moment you're born, whether it's outside the U.S. by 5 minutes or you've been living outside the U.S. most of your life. The question is, under what circumstances are you considered a U.S. citizen? Now, this is referred to as acquisition by birth. Now, generally, a child born outside the U.S., where one or both parents are United States citizens, may acquire U.S. citizenship at birth. Now, acquisition of citizenship for a child born out of wedlock is also a possibility. And again, it depends on the year that you were born and when the event took place, because the way that acquisition of citizenship laws work is, as the years have gone on, there's been certain changes, but the law that applies to you is when the event arose that would have given you citizenship, which generally would be your birth. Now, if it is dealing with an out-of-wedlock parent, then that provision requires the mother to be physically present in the United States for only 1 year to transmit the citizenship. So essentially you have to look at where the mother was born, where the father was born, whether they were married, whether it was out of wedlock, and then the year that it occurred to show whether or not the provisions exist. Now, excuse me. Now, a child who acquires citizenship is a citizen at the moment of birth and doesn't even need a certificate of citizenship, doesn't need a passport, doesn't need any of that stuff. Although it is, of course, easier to move around coming to the United States, assuming you have a U.S. passport. So basically, these different provisions will allow that. There's also another one where a child born of a U.S. citizen father in the canal zone is a USC at birth, even if born out of wedlock. And so you can see that there are different provisions, different variations in which this would apply. But the point I'm trying to get across here is that there are situations where you can be born outside the U.S. and still be a U.S. citizen. Okay, more in the coming video.